Welcome to Important Updates, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you are new here, do not forget to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an update. I bet you didn't know just how tense life can be on the front lines of the West Philippine Sea. The salt spray tastes different out here, heavy with tension, as if the very air is charged with anticipation. Every breath carries the weight of uncertainty, and every gust of wind seems to whisper warnings of what lies ahead. On the rusting deck of the BRP Sierra Madre, Filipino Marines stand watch over the West Philippine Sea. Their eyes scan the horizon, alert to every movement, every shadow that might signal a new threat. Day and night they remain vigilant, knowing that their presence here is both a duty and a message. This grounded ship is more than a relic, it's a symbol of sovereignty, deliberately placed on Ayungin Shoal. Its battered hull and weathered decks are a testament to the Philippines' determination to hold its ground, no matter the odds. The horizon is rarely empty. Chinese Coast Guard vessels circle like sharks, a constant, silent threat. Their presence is a daily reminder that the struggle for control here is unending and that the balance of power can shift in an instant. Their message is clear: you are not welcome here. Loudspeakers blare warnings, echoing across the waves, trying to intimidate and unsettle those who stand their ground. The Marines are the front line in a decades-long dispute, their supplies running a gauntlet of Chinese ships. Every delivery is a small victory, a lifeline that keeps the outpost alive and the flag flying. Water cannons, dangerous maneuvers. Every day is a psychological battle. The tension is palpable as each side tests the other's resolve, pushing boundaries without crossing the line into open conflict. The Sierra Madre is crumbling, but its presence is a powerful act of defiance. Every patch of rust, every scar on its hull, tells a story of resistance and resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. This is the backdrop for a larger geopolitical chess match. The world watches as regional powers maneuver for advantage, each move calculated, each response measured. The West Philippine Sea is a critical waterway, with trillions in trade and rumored oil and gas reserves beneath the waves. Whoever controls these waters controls not just resources, but the flow of commerce and the future of the region. This isn't just about fishing rights, it's about economic security and the future balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. The livelihoods of countless families and the strategic interests of nations are all entangled in these contested waters. The tension on this ship radiates outwards, touching Manila, Beijing, and Washington, D.C. Decisions made here ripple across the globe, shaping alliances and fueling debates in distant capitals. On one side, a smaller nation asserts its rights under international law. On the other, a superpower projects strength. The standoff is as much about principle as it is about territory. The Marines, isolated and outnumbered, are the David in a modern David and Goliath story. Their courage is quiet but unwavering, a testament to the human spirit in the face of adversity. Their quiet vigil is a reminder of what's at stake. Every sunrise brings new challenges, but also new hope that their stand will not be in vain. Today, December 26, 2025, Manila escalates, not with weapons, but with a new line drawn on its own maps. It's a statement to the world: the fight for the West Philippine Sea is far from over, and the story of the Sierra Madre continues. The Philippine government has just expanded its maritime patrol zone, a bold, deliberate move that signals a new era in the country's approach to maritime security and sovereignty. The new zone now stretches even further into the West Philippine Sea, encompassing areas that have long been flashpoints for encounters with Chinese vessels and other foreign ships. The Department of National Defense announced precise new coordinates, making it clear that the Navy and Coast Guard will now patrol these waters as sovereign territory, with a renewed sense of purpose and vigilance. This is Manila drawing a new line, not just on paper, but on the water itself, turning policy into action and redefining the boundaries of national defense. Previously, patrols were limited by scarce resources and a cautious desire to avoid direct confrontation, often leaving vast stretches of sea unmonitored. Now, the new policy mandates a persistent, visible presence around key features like Scarborough Shoal and the Spratlys, ensuring that Philippine forces are always on watch. It's a shift from reactive to proactive. The Philippines is now actively asserting its authority, showing determination to defend its maritime claims. The expansion directly challenges China's sweeping 9-line, increasing the stakes in these contested waters and sending a clear message to the region. By overlapping with China's claims, Manila is rejecting their legitimacy and reinforcing its own rights under international law, backed by global agreements and diplomatic support. This isn't just a declaration. The government is allocating more resources for additional sorties, longer deployments, and tighter coordination between agencies, ensuring the policy is fully enforced. The message is unmistakable. These waters are ours to patrol, protect, and defend, no matter the challenge. The era of passive acceptance is over. A new chapter of active assertion and national pride has begun, with the Philippines standing firm in defense of its seas. This decision is the result of years of escalating incidents and mounting frustration. China's gray zone tactics, swarming, lasers, blocking resupply, have become more frequent and brazen. Filipino fishermen have lost access to traditional grounds, fueling public outrage and demands for action. National pride and political pressure made inaction untenable. Strengthened alliances, especially with the U.S., have emboldened Manila. Joint patrols and expanded military exercises provide a security backstop. The 2016 Hague ruling invalidated China's 9-line and affirmed Philippine rights. For years, Manila hesitated to leverage this legal victory. Now, it's the cornerstone of policy. Expanding patrols is not just political but legal enforcement. The Philippines is signaling its intent to uphold a rules-based order. It's a move to turn legal rights into action on the water. China's reaction was swift and indignant. Beijing issued strong statements, calling the move a grave provocation. For years, China assumed its power would force smaller claimants to yield. The Philippines' bold declaration disrupts this strategy, setting a precedent others might follow. Behind the condemnation, Chinese officials scrambled to respond without escalating to open conflict. Too weak a response undermines their claims. Too strong risks U.S. involvement. China increased its Coast Guard and militia presence, shadowing Philippine patrols and testing Manila's resolve. This is classic Chinese playbook: overwhelming presence to intimidate. The shock has become a calculated show of force, signaling that Beijing intends to set the rules. The fallout between the Philippines and China has been immediate and severe. Diplomatic channels are strained, ambassadors summoned for formal protests. Years of careful relationship building have unraveled overnight. China, a major trading partner, is already using economic leverage. Delays in customs, warnings to tourists. These unofficial sanctions are a clear warning. Sovereignty disputes come with a price. Nationalist sentiment is rising on both sides, fueled by social media and state rhetoric. Public animosity makes de-escalation harder, shrinking space for compromise. The so-called golden age of relations is over. Manila's new policy marks a pivot away from accommodation to open confrontation. The hope for partnership has been replaced by rivalry over the West Philippine Sea. The world took notice of Manila's move, with headlines flashing across major news networks and analysts weighing in on the potential consequences. The international community was quick to respond, recognizing the significance of the Philippines' bold stance. The U.S. quickly reaffirmed its ironclad commitment to the Mutual Defense Treaty, signaling unwavering support for its longtime ally and raising the stakes for China. American officials emphasized that any attack on Philippine forces would trigger a response, making it clear that Washington was watching closely. Washington sees Manila's stand as a defense of the rules-based order, a principle that underpins peace and stability in the region. U.S. diplomats highlighted the importance of upholding international agreements and deterring unilateral actions. Allies like Japan, Australia, the UK, and France voiced strong support for international law and freedom of navigation, sending ships to participate in joint exercises and issuing statements backing Manila's position. This chorus of support from global leaders and institutions further legitimizes the Philippines' position, amplifying its voice on the world stage and putting additional diplomatic weight behind its claims. Within Southeast Asia, reactions were mixed. Some nations remained silent, wary of provoking Beijing, while others were privately supportive but publicly cautious, balancing their own interests and regional stability. ASEAN struggled for consensus, But claimants like Vietnam and Malaysia are watching closely, aware that Manila's actions could set a precedent for their own disputes with China. The move forces a difficult conversation about managing China's assertiveness, pushing regional leaders to reconsider their strategies and alliances in the face of growing tensions. The EU and UN called for de-escalation and strict adherence to international law, adding diplomatic pressure on Beijing and urging all parties to resolve disputes peacefully. The issue is now framed as a test of global maritime governance, not just a bilateral spat, with the world watching to see how international norms will be upheld. The Philippines' action isolates China diplomatically and raises the stakes for all, making this a defining moment in the ongoing struggle for influence and order in the region. The expanded patrol zone has shaken the Indo-Pacific's fragile stability. More Philippine vessels in contested waters mean a higher risk of direct confrontation. A single incident could spiral into a wider conflict. Regional players like Vietnam and Malaysia must now choose: follow Manila's assertive lead or remain cautious. A domino effect could create a more unified front against Chinese expansion, or leave the Philippines isolated. Major powers are watching. China must show resolve without triggering war. The US must prove its credibility. Japan, Australia, and India may accelerate security cooperation. The core question: will the region be governed by law or by power? The Philippines' move challenges the trajectory of 21st century power in Asia. The ripples from this decision will shape the region for years to come. At the heart of the conflict is a battle of legal interpretations. The Philippines bases its actions on the 2016 Hague ruling, which invalidated China's 9-dash line. By expanding patrols within its EEZ, Manila acts as an enforcer of international law. China rejects the ruling, insisting on historic rights and presenting ancient maps as evidence. This clash is about more than territory. It's about the legitimacy of international law itself. If powerful nations can ignore tribunal rulings, the system is undermined. The Philippines' patrols are a practical application of its legal victory. International support reinforces the principle that law, not might, should govern maritime disputes. The West Philippine Sea is now a primary battlefield for the future of global maritime law. As of December 26, 2025, the West Philippine Sea is more volatile than ever. The Philippines has drawn a new line. China has answered with force. Tensions will likely escalate, with more close encounters and a war of words. Manila must prove its expanded patrols are a sustained policy, not a one-off gesture. This will test the resolve of its government and people, who must withstand economic and psychological pressure. China faces a choice: double down on intimidation or seek de-escalation. The next moves will reveal Beijing's long-term strategy. This is a microcosm of a global contest law and cooperation versus spheres of influence. The Philippines stands at the center of this struggle, with the world watching. What happens next will shape the future of the region and the rules that govern it.